live so very traditional, of course, kailangan namin sumabay sa development. Yet, habang sumasabay kami sa development, alam namin kung ano yung nakakabuti para sa kultura namin at ano yung hindi nakakabuti para sa kultura namin. I am fulfilled na deep sense of peace na sa gabi ang sarap-sarap ng tulog mo at sa umaga ang lakas-lakas ng energy mo para bumangon at gumawa ng action agad.
A prayer is sung as a youth forum begins in Landan, South Cotabato. Local children and teens are gathered, ready for a day of activities. But it's not just all fun and games. The event for today works with a purpose in mind. It aims to rekindle a passion in the hearts of the Blaans for the culture they were born in. The Blaans are an indigenous people of more than 200,000, residing in the mountains and forests of Sarangani.
Opportunities for others to show that these indigenous people can do something. So, maing buntag sa tahanan.
It's the light that needs to be kept alive amongst a people that have so long suffered from prejudice.
Now this time, we will have our statement of purpose from Coffee of Laon's founder and executive director, Ms. Annalie Eday.
Annalie Eday is one of the advocates single-minded in keeping this fire burning.
Fiu Flafus! Fiu Flafus! Kreo gamlabata yung Blaan? Ha? Lahat pa ba ay nakakaintindi ng Blaan?
Annalie began her advocacy for cultural empowerment in June of 2006, just 2 months after she graduated from college.
Nagiging first work ko is as a project officer ng School of Living Tradition in the Indigenous Peoples Development Program of the Office of the Governor.
A Blaan, born and bred, Annalie thought her job would come easy, being a member of the community she was tasked to handle. But the reality of what was ahead came as a shock to her.
Nung nagtatrabaho ako with the Indigenous Peoples Development Program, mas marami akong nare-realize about our tribe. Atong tingin sa amin inferior, medyo yung mababa kami, nasa gilid lang kami, at saka parang wala kaming kakayanan. Lahat ng mga professionals, wala siguro ni isa sa amin ang hindi nakadaan sa discrimination. Tama po ba? No? For example, si Ate Ann, bakit ako nagiging very passionate with my work now? And bakit
Annalie can never forget the time when she herself was put down by those around her.
when I was appointed as a focal person ng Education Reform Program, ang sabi ng isang department head, bakit siya? Di ba bilaan lang yan siya?
The word bilaan has become a derogatory term for Blaans. It has evolved to mean poor and illiterate.
Yung first teacher's training we had and we are evaluating bakit mababa ang scores ng mga bata. At isang teacher doon ang sumagot na ang hirap-hirap talagang magturo ng mga bata sa bundok. Kasi kahit ganyan-ganyan mo na daw yung letter A straight to the faces of the bilaan, hindi nila naiintindihan. And that was hurting.
This preconception kept their community from receiving better access to education.
Nagpo-propose kami na mag-o-open ng school sa bundok. So nang nag-propose kami, sabi niya, bakit tayo magtatayo ng school doon sa bundok? Eh mag-aasawa lang naman yan sila ng maaga. They are just cost to the government.
Okay.
Though faced with the doubts of her colleagues, Annalie was unfazed.
Yun yung nagiging parang inspirasyon ko. Nagbigay talaga sa akin ng courage na kailangan may gagawin ako.
Dito proud lang rin eh. Proud yun.
Annalie has set her mind on helping her fellow Blaans feel proud of their heritage.
I-celebrate sa nato ang atoang kultura. And I want you to enjoy our culture, to dance, no? Na full of pride and dignity of our culture. Tingnan natin yung sinasabi sabi ninyong proud na blaan kayo.
Annalie knows that cultural empowerment must start at a young age if it is to be instilled in the hearts of her fellow Blaans. Being ashamed of one's own identity can be a major hindrance to the potential that Blaans have. It has proven to be a deterrent for adults like her, but to Annalie, it is a far greater threat to children. It is what she works to combat to this day. After all, she is no stranger to the effects discrimination can make to a child. At the young age of 10, Annalie saw with her own eyes the far-reaching consequences of being seen as a lesser human.
Unfortunately, ang way kasi nila para maitaboy yung nagmamay-ari ng lupa is papatayin yung tatay namin kasi siya yung tenant of the land. But that time, wala yung tatay namin. At ang nakita doon is yung kapatid kong 21-year-old. Andyan si Ma'am.
The Blaan Youth Forum is hosted in a covered court, a short walk away from Landan Elementary School.
Ito yung exactly grade 1 room ko.
She takes a short break from the forum to pay a quick visit to her old school. Annalie fondly remembers her childhood in Landan. A difficult time, but a memorable one.
We grew up really loving school kasi laging sinasabi ng nanay namin every time wala kaming bigas at nag-aaway sila ng tatay namin na kung ayaw niyong matulad sa amin, mag-aral kayong mabuti.
Welcome back to
Thank
your alma mater.
As a child, Annalie did not shy away from living and expressing her culture. But living in a community where other groups looked down on Blaans opened Annalie's eyes to a reality beyond her years.
We also have experiences kasi ng mga land grabbing. Ordinaryong magsasaka lang kami doon sa lupang yun. Unfortunately, ang way kasi nila para maitaboy yung nagmamay-ari ng lupa is papatayin yung tatay namin kasi siya yung tenant of the land. But that time, wala yung tatay namin kasi nasa family reunion nga. At ang nakita doon is yung kapatid kong 21-year-old. So, yun, siya yung binaril that night. Dugay, nagigula ka balik diri ma'am since tong napatay ang amon nga.
It has been 20 years since that fateful night. Annalie is happy to be back in Landan, doing something that can help right the wrongs committed against her family.
All my efforts now are really to help our tribe regain our dignity and para ma-unite namin ang mga efforts namin para sa ikabubuti nga ng aming tribo. Karon maggrupo-grupo ta, mon. Mag-count ta og 1 to 5. Walay magsibat.
Facilitating a group activity with the kids of Landan today at the forum, Annalie sees herself a world away from where she began as a college student. Annalie graduated education from the Notre Dame of Dadyangas in 2006. But being a teacher was nowhere in her plans when she entered college.
Kumuha ko ng nursing because it's allowed in the scholarship program. And ang thinking ko, naku, mag-nursing ako kasi malaking sweldo, especially kung makakapag-abroad ka.
But the requirements of her course became far too expensive than what was covered by her scholarship. Soon, Annalie was forced to make a difficult decision.
Kahit masama yung loob ko, nag-shift ako. That's my strategy para masigurado kung makapagtapos pa rin ako ng pag-aaral.
But Annalie's heart was not in it. Perhaps a college degree was not for her after all.
Hindi ko love yung course eh. Lagi akong part ng, kumbaga, top 5 of the nursing class. Pero nung nag-shift ako ng education, nagsistart ako nagkakaroon ng grades na 2 or lower than 2. Kasi parang lagi na akong nag-absent.
Starting college with a vision of being a nurse abroad, Annalie reeled from the need of having to shift to a course she did not want just to be able to finish study.
Nag-question ako dati, ang dami-dami namang problema. Bakit ganito? Bakit konti na nga lang, gusto mo pa, ayaw, hindi mo pa talaga mapupush.
Today is the 22nd founding anniversary of the Department of Education in Sarangani. Annalie Eday has been invited to speak in the event. Her work with the government agency at the beginning of her career was a welcome opportunity after the unexpected change in her college education.
Mas naintindihan ko lang ang purpose ni Lord bakit ako nag-shift into education. Nung nag-work na ako into an education reform program, which is yung QUEST or Quality Education for Sarangani Today.
Starting college with a vision of being a nurse abroad, Annalie reeled from the need of having to shift to a course she did not want just to be able to finish study.
Nag-question ako dati, ang dami-dami namang problema. Bakit ganito? Bakit konti na nga lang, gusto mo pa, ayaw, hindi mo pa talaga mapupush.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. It's nice to be back here and to be in the presence of my family, my love, the DepEd family Sarangani Division.
Now, Annalie realizes the blessing in disguise that was her predicament 8 years ago. Working in the government, Annalie saw firsthand the needs of her fellow Blaans.
Few years ago, wala akong teachers na gusto umakyat doon.
Among the needs she was able to identify, Annalie focused on the necessity for better quality of education.
Nung nag-uumpisa kami ng education reform program, minsan 2 months wala pong teacher yung nasa bundok. Mantalang dito sa lowland, laging may pasok sila. Hindi din nakikita ng mga bata sa bundok anong mukha ng kanilang aklat. Kasi hindi nakakarating doon eh. Nakikita kong sobrang ang inequality ng mga nasa bundok at saka yung nasa lowland schools.
In 6 years, under Annalie's guide, Quest was able to improve the state of education in Sarangani. Far-flung schools have been provided with more teachers. Training sessions were held to better equip them in educating Sarangani children. And campaigns were held to increase awareness of the importance of education.
Kung hindi ako nakapag-aral, hindi ako nakakapagsalita ngayon. Siguro nasa gilid lang din ako at saka umiiyak na lang din pag dinidiscriminate. Hindi ako nakakapagsabi na this is our right. You need to give this to us. Feeling ko hindi ako na-empower kung hindi ako educated.
Now working independently, Annalie is elevating her advocacy by founding a non-government organization, Kafyu Blaan Empowerment Inc.
Nag-decide talaga ako, nagiging commitment ko na magtayo ng NGO. At hindi ko alam kung saan ko kukunin yung resources ko. Sabi ko, magkakaroon talaga ng NGO. Sige.
Annalie traces her steps back to where she began her advocacy at the Lemlifieu Living Museum 9 years ago. Here, the clothing and household items of the Blaans are preserved for all to see, especially the younger Blaan generations.
We're doing efforts para not only for the preservation but to ensure na napopromote namin kung ano talaga yung para sa tribo namin. Doon tayo sa isang napaka-importanting part ng museum na ito, yung aming weaving house.
The ancient crafts of the Blaans are kept alive in the museum. Elders remain in the weaving house to teach young Blaan women the art of weaving. Here, Annalie makes sure that their rich heritage is kept alive. It is one project she maintains, working toward her ultimate goal for her fellow Blaans.
Prepare na lang. Kasi nagkalalo rin yung bayad yun.
Tara!
Annalie still has several more ideas up her sleeve.
Bye-bye! Bye-bye!
Mula dito, papunta doon, yung bundok na yan, is an ancestral land. Doon sa tuktok na yon, doon namin itatayo ang Philippine Blaan Academy.
She is now working to build the first Blaan Academy in Malungon, Sarangani.
Ang ano dito,
An ambitious project, but Annalie is positive it will come to pass.
feeling ko kasi pag hindi kami magtatayo talaga ng school, walang isang facility na magkikip ng aming kultura in a technical way. Pero feeling ko pa rin kailangan ng younger generation na magkakaroon talaga ng school kung saan basically matutunan nila yung kultura, but at the same time will give them a quality education.
Making sure that Blaans keep up with the times without losing their sense of culture is a big challenge for Annalie. But to her, it's not far from reality.
Kailangan sabay yun or else baka in the future kumbaga masaset aside yung cultural aspect pag once na masyado kami educated and empowered. So gusto namin magkakaroon ng complementation yun. And so that in the future, they become our leaders na empowered, educated, yet culturally grounded.